Hello and welcome to the Endurance Championship for round 3 here in the driver's room. After 2 rounds, Plux leads by a single point over Mac, with F1 in third, hoping to make up for lost ground. Let's see the cars down on the track. Here we are, lining up for the start. We're in the grid line up now. We can see all 16 cars, full lobby tonight. And let's see what their starting strategies are going to be. So we have Plux on pole in the Pepsi Porsche. He's starting on Racing Softs. We have F1 in second in the Orca GTR. He's also on softs. V8 in the Porsche, also on softs. Mac in the Mustang, also on softs. Muller in the Red Bull OSR Aston, also on softs. Longino also on softs in the Mobil 1 Audi. That's a change for this season. Jogger on Racing Softs in the Lexus. Then we have new starter RS3 starting on Super Softs in the Audi. Then we have Gadget returns in the Supra on Racing Softs, Super Softs, sorry. Then we have Daz also starting on the softs. Canny starting on medium / softs on the rear. Fours in a new Petronas livery car. Then we have Canny on RMRS. Then we have Jammy, Grim on RMRS, and Leo on soft tyres all round. Let's see what happened in the race. Does the lights come on now? Can Plux keep the launch? Or will F1 get him off the line? The GTR is very quick. Oh, we've got a couple of jump starters I think at the back there, but either way it's go, go, go. You see Plux try to cover off, but it looks like F1's got enough of a good launch. The initial launch was better for Plux, but the power of the GTR, can he carry it around the outside? Looks like he just about can, so F1 will take the lead. Looks like Mac got a great start up from 4th position into 3rd as well. And V8 looks like he's had an absolute shocker. Just gone through, Mac covering off the inside from a fast charging Muller. A little bit of contact there. Oh, looks like V8's gone off there. Maybe there was contact in that looked like he was sideways into the barrier. And right now with Plux hard behind GTR, chasing him down. This was Plux's fear. He knew he needed Poland to get away clean, but it looks like F1's gonna get clear track in front of him. The Porsche isn't good in a straight line. Let's take another look at the start. We saw that little jump start, but now we're on board with Longino. He's stuck out on the outside, he's going to have to be careful. Oh, there's V8 there, having a little bit of a cut off of Longino's line. He's battling with knee jogger as we go on board with V8. Let's see what happened here. Oh, it looked like it was a small punt from Longino that sent him off wide. And knee jogger looked like he was just caught in the crossfire. It was Longino voluntarily took him off the course and let him through. Gadget taking a sneaky move up the inside, or a little bit of contact there. And V8 again is offline. So I can tell you now the jump starters were RS3 and Gadget. Jammy got a bad start because he ran into the back of RS3's immobile car and got engine damage. As we're back on board with Canny now. He's had a relatively good start. And there's Force, he's had an excellent start up from 12th in the new Petronas Atenza. So Force has been allowed to change all 4 of his cars because he's basically a new entry. That does mean he has forfeited all his points he accrued in the first season. He's hoping that a new set of cars and a new sponsor will help him out, as we see Plux on the back of F1 in the Porsche. The GTR is going to pull away, but can the Porsche gain anything in the slipstream? He's going to be close. He's now starting to gain on him. Can he get the overspeed? Can he get the overlap? Is he going to go for a wild dive? It looks like he is. Trying to use the... Oh, there's massive contact there. F1 goes into the wall. Flux let him back through. Let's see what happened. It looked like they just Flux didn't get enough alongside. He went for the move knowing he had to have the lead. And now that's let Mack through and Muller through. Flux, of course, did let F1 back through. There's Muller. Well, looks like F1's run wide a bit there, actually. Oh, and they've tongued that together again. And now look back further through the field. Looks like there was more action and drama. We're on board with Nijogger. Let's see what happened with him. We're 3 wide down the main straight. Or the back straight, let's say. There's a bit of contact, I think. Oh, Leo going to the side of him. Oh, and Nijogger spun. That's going to be the last position for Nijogger. RS3, newcomer. He's had a good recovery so far. We're on board with Gadget now. He's trying to get his way back through the field. Oh, it looks like Grim and Longino went off there, and Leo's gone off there. It's a difficult corner. It's slightly off camber. So Jammy's gonna capitalise on some of these slow cars. Gadget now in 8th. He started 9th, so even though he's had a full start, he actually has gained. As we're on board with Jules, who's been a big winner out of this. He's got the supers on the rear, so we'll have lots of rear traction in the SLS, the older of the 2 Mercedes types we've got. As we jump forward now with Mack, leading after the first lap, started 4th. That's a pretty good, roll of the dice for him. Flux started 1st, lost the position, made a mistake, caused that contact. He's going to have to atone for that. There's Daz. He's had a great start, actually. Up to 7th. Started 10th. There's a lot of drama that's happened on this first lap. And we've still got the best part of 57 minutes to go. C4's now trying to shape and move up. Looks like defending from Jules. Jules got some good run there in the SLS. I've always found the SLS to be a bit of an understeery boat. Tenza nimble on its feet there. Jules goes wide. I told you about that understeer. So we jump forward to 2nd position here. Muller, in all the pre-race practice we've seen, Muller's been the man to beat. He's had excellent tyre wear, excellent pace. There's F1, he's always fast. There's Fours again in the 5th position. Jules runs wide there through the difficult complex of corners through here. Gets a good run there, but that allows Daz through. On lap 2, let's see what happens now. This is not really an overtake. Oh, I think Daz broke late there. And it looks like they're both going to go off into the sand trap. And Jules goes round. Daz clamps the barrier there. And we've got Gadget now up to 6th position. Daz recovers. That's Canny up to 7th. And Canny has had a really good start to this race. There's Jules recovering down in 11th. Amazingly, that's still 2 positions ahead of where he started. There's Mungino. He's had a terrible start, as has Nijogger. Nijogger, who was one of the championship contenders last time round, as we're back on board with the 2nd position car. We've got Flux all over the back of him again. Will he shape up another dive move? Doesn't look like he will. He's learned his lesson after the first lap. Hoping to get him maybe on the exit of this next corner. The problem is every single hard braking zone in this track comes after a fairly long straight where the Porsche just loses bags of time over the other cars. You can see it already. Look, Muller having that slipstream from the fast Mustang with Mack, he just pulls clear, and there's nothing Flux can do. This great view there of the M4R Pepsi car. Lights ablaze. But Muller's caught up to the back of Mack as well. Mack hasn't looked particularly fast on this stint. And he is starting to back the pack up a little bit. This might bring F1 back into play. He had that little bit of damage on the car. Had to fend off some of the slower cars after that contact with Flux. It started 2nd. Could have been on pole. The lap times were very close between Flux and F1 did a 3:02.0, I believe, and Flux had to dig into the 3:01s to take pole. Only person to get into the 3:01s in qualifying. So we're on board now with RS3, newcomer to the series. He looked quick in practice, but he didn't get a lap together in qualifying, but he's got a great exit there on Canny. Let's see what the top end of that Audi is like. He is running the super soft tyres, they will fade quickly. Lovely through that first corner. They've got two wheels on that green, which is always a good sign of a good entry through that corner. Canny runs a little bit wide there defending as we're back on board with the third place car of Flux. Again, you see through this tight little sector the Porsche just hugs the back of the other cars, and then as soon as we get to a straight, we're in trouble. We're on board with Mac now in first. We can see the train of cars that are coming up behind him now. Miller gets a good exit. There's Plux. There's F1 starting to sneak up behind. That Mustang is a good qualifying car and it's very good in a straight line. But a race car, it's a difficult one. We've seen Max struggle before in it. He does get up the field well in it. Just can he hold on? There's Muller in the Aston Martin. It is to be noted that after the pre-race testing, oh my word, Flux has got an immense run out of that corner. He's driven straight up into the back bumper. Can he hold it this time? The difference is though, whilst when he was trying to attack F1, there was no one in front of him. As you see a bit of weaving there from Mac to try and break the slipstream. Muller follows, Flux follows as well. 165 miles an hour there from the Mustang. The Porsche probably wasn't even doing that in the slipstream. Got a good run through there. Muller's under pressure again, but Muller's also pressurising Mac. And you can see the sneaky fast GTR F1 coming sidling up. And he's got to play this cleverly. He's going to have to wash from 3 different cars, but that also means he's going to get effectively a treble slipstream. And you can see just how quickly he can draw up to the back of that Porsche. Have a look, fakes it to the inside, try and throw off Flux. Does look like he's forced him a little wide, but he's gone a little wide himself. We know very much that the GTR is going to be strong through this final sector. It's got the best top end of any of these cars, but it does burn its tyres and it's a little bit thirsty. We've gone on board with Mac, sorry, not Mac, Muller. Out of that third corner. It looks like F1 got a great line out through there. Let's see what happens through there. Whoa, he's gone off the track to try and get past him, but he has got the run. F1 scythes down the inside. Box is going for the over-under, but he hasn't got any slipstream to help him. He'll have to fall back in line, I think. See, just that much more powerful GTR. Flux lifts off a little bit earlier. He's trying to get that tight line. Look, he's got the better run out the corner. F1 goes a little bit wide. And this is going to be the best section for the Porsche. Meanwhile, Muller's going on the attack on Mac. Tries to go around the outside. Flux does the same on F1. Looks like Flux has managed to get the move done. Mac held on. And this is going to be killing Muller because Muller's got the same problem. We now check after 4 laps. We see Mac is in the lead, Muller second, F1 third, and Plux in fourth. Then we have Fours, Gadget, RS, and the rest of the field. Board there with Daz, trying to catch back up to Canny. We haven't seen much of the rest of the field so far. It's just been so action-packed at the front. Let's catch up with some of the runners down the back of the field. There's Knee in 13th. He's trying to slowly catch back up after his earlier issue. Oh, he clips the inside barrier there. That shouldn't cause too much issue. He's just lost a bit of time. There's Mangino. Oh, Canny runs a little bit wide. On board there with Jules. V8's gone wide. Oh, and he's gone into the gravel. That's a shame. If he'd kept it in the grass, he would have been in a better position. So that's a free position there for Nee. He's running board with Jules. And that Audi's got pretty good straight line speed. As they took it. Oh, Jules has gone wide. Mangino's had to let him. Give him a wide berth as well. And Nee's going to go straight through with the Moses effect and pick up effectively 3 positions in 4 positions, sorry, in as many corners. Great stuff for Knee Jogger. He has kept himself clean and gained all the benefits. Looks like Mangino got a good run through there. He's going to try and close up down the bridge. This is a difficult, tight set of corners, this. It is possible to do an overtake though. He couldn't quite keep it tight enough. He did force Nee into making a mistake, but he made a mistake himself, and now he's kicked the tail out. He's going to be out on the dirtier line. See if the Audi can deal with it. And now he's going back across the wash. And he's very, very wide. He's kept his foot in though. It looks like he has run off the road. Oh, that's really unfortunate. He was running really well there, recovering after a poor start. And now he hits another wall. And the Mobile 1 driver is under all sorts of pressure now. They're going to be 3 wide coming into the final corner. He has got the inside line though, but he has backed out of it. He didn't want to have any of those apples. Oh, and Canny slams the outside barrier and catches Jules. Jules wisely goes all the way to the inside. We're back now with the lead group. Let's see what happened on lap 4 for them. Again, F1 feigns the inside. This time Plux loses the back end slightly on the Porsche. F1 gets another good run. And the pole sitter just cannot do anything about Miller in front. He's dropped off the back of him. It looks like he's under a lot of pressure here. As we run through the ultimate corner, F1's got the run again. You see he's flashing the lights, trying to unsettle Plux. This time he goes to the out, what will be the outside of the corner. But he's already got a move done. Hit the slipstream and it's like hitting the turbo button. And Plux drops from 3rd to 4th. He's going to have nothing to answer the GTR in this main straight. As we're on board now with Gadget, he's closing in 4s. And there's RS3, he's closed them both down. Definitely looks to have had good pace. Let's see what he can do with it. A strong showing so far from the debutant. Gadget in the Supra, first race of the season for Gadget. He's had to miss the first 2. Hopefully he can use these races to try and springboard himself into the championship hunt. Oh, and RS on those super soft tyres, they've worn quite heavily. Gadget on the same compounder tyre has used hardly any, so that will be interesting to see. Gadget trying to go. Oh, we expect the super soft tyre. Oh, the RS goes off again. And I was just saying he was having a good strong time of it, and I've gone and commentated and cursed him, and he's now falling off the road. There's Daz in 8th. Good strong showing from the Mistral driver. There's Nee after that bit of luck he had. Oh, and we're back on board with the... Oh my word, it's an absolute car park here. As they're all heading down the back straight. There's a bit of weaving going on as they're trying to go through wide. Is F1 going to make it through wide? Yes, he is. Plux is sitting there going, oh, please all have an instant. They run through it. Mac holds on, but it looks like Plux got the best launch. There's now 4 cars within about 9/10 of each other. So we're on board with Mac. Oh, contact! I think there was contact between Plux and Miller behind as well. Miller has lost out there. Let's see what happens. Oh, it looks like Plux is letting off the throttle, so it looks like there was definitely contact. But absolute mayhem occurred there between the top 4 leading drivers. Oh, and F1 lifts off the throttle. I think he thought maybe he'd caused contact with Muller. But that's given Mack a quite hefty lead, actually. We'll have to see if Mack's pitting this lap. It's well known the Mustang's quite heavy on tyres. There's Plux taking quite an extreme line through that corner. I'm surprised he got away without getting a penalty. Out of all of that, the only difference change there was F1 got ahead of Muller, which again could be crucial for Plux. Mack's still in the lead. Those tyres on that Mustang do look quite crippled. He's used half a tank of fuel as well. It's important to keep an eye on fuel. This track is quite fuel heavy. A lot of long, wide open straights. There we go. Mack coming through the final corner. There's the top three cars. Oh, and Muller's crashed into the barrier there. Mack does indeed pit. We're staying on board with Plux though. We want to see if he can get the move done. We're jumping for some reason to Gadget into fours. And RS goes to the pits. On board with Gadget. Oh no, so we're following the fours here. This is a bit earlier on. What happened here? Oh, he's just hit a bit of understeer, run wide. That's given Gadget the 5th position. That is unfortunate. And here we go. Muller in 2nd place now. Jumping back to this battle. Plux has made the move stick. Oh, Muller ran it in really hot there, trying to unsettle Plux. Plux will get the exit. But Muller will have the slipstream, and this just shows you Plux got the power earlier than Muller, but Muller's going to have a look. As I think about it, isn't quite alongside. If this was against, you know, the GTR, maybe he would have had a pop. But the Porsche is better than pretty much any other car through this sector. F1 now is going to try and scamper away. This is what we saw him do in round 1. He wasn't present in round 2. Plux really wants to beat F1, I think. F1, of course, the Sunday League champion. Plux, Season 1 Direct champion. That's why he's got the gold number. F1 came into his house and, you know, took the win away from him in Austria at the Red Bull Ring. So we're back on board with Gadget. He's in 4th now, falls up to 5th, or returns to 5th. And there's Mack after his pit stop. He's fueled up as well. RS. He's going to be flying now on those super soft tyres. He's gone supers again. So we're back on board with Muller. Muller's got the run. Here we go. This shows you it perfectly. Plux, without a slipstream to help him, he's at the mercy of the Aston Martin's superior straight line speed. Muller puts a little bit of a lean on, but that was perfectly fair. Had won the corner. Nothing to complain about. Not even a flash of the lights from Plux. That was all fair. And of course the biggest problem for Plux is he's just been overtaken through what is probably the best fast corner on the track for him. And now F1's going to get away a bit. So we'll have to see what happens here. We've seen Mack pit. These 3 cars have also got very worn tyres. We expect to see them in at the end of this lap. Oh, Plux has gone a little bit wide in there. You can see the tyres are wearing on the front of that Porsche. Miller's done a great job with his tyres. He's probably the only car here who could possibly attempt a 7th lap at this point. But it is important to note Plux hasn't even used half a tank of fuel yet. So the Porsche being very frugal, just sipping, taking little sips. You can see GTR's well past the half. Oh, Muller clouts the wall there. Plux is going to have the run. He's hit the slipstream. He's going to go for it down the inside. Does look like he has. Muller gives him the space. F1's in. Plux looks like he's going in. Muller's coming in. So it's going to be a battle of the pit crews. Who's going for fuel? Who's not? You'd have to assume, if you look, F1 and Muller have both used 43 litres. Plux has used only 49. Got 4s in the pits, Gadget in the pits as well. Mack will take the lead back then, which is what we would have expected. There's Plux. Plux has got out first out with all the cars. It looks like he might have taken only a splash of fuel. So we assume he's probably going for 6 laps again. Muller's been the big loser here. He's dropped from 2nd on the road down to 4th and a long way back from F1. There's F1, there's Plux. You can see the sheer amount of fuel. The amount of fuel he didn't take in. He was playing it fast and loose, but of course a lighter car gives you more speed through the corners. Less mass to accelerate, less mass to brake, less mass to turn. He's trying to play to the strengths of his car. There's Gadget, he's back out. There's RS3, he's ahead of Gadget now after a couple of good laps. There's Fours down in 7th. There's Canny, he's up to 8th. I'm guessing he hasn't pitted yet. Yep, look at those tyres. But he's on the mediums, we'd expect that. Even knee jogger's been in. He's got a healthy amount of fuel in that car. There's V8. This is the man, of course, who started in the 3rd on the 2nd row. He's just had an absolute nightmare so far. And there's Daz. In the Mistral. Oh, he runs it off the track. Oh, Daz. If you wanted to go to the beach, taking that Mistral is definitely not the best way to get there. Oh, and now he's going lawnmowering by a Flymo. Don't use a splitter. Back and bog with Mungino now in the Audi. You can see Jules got through on Daz as well. Old tyres, they come a cropper in the end. Let's see if Mungino can kind of throw himself back up the field. He's had, I've said this in multiple races so far, he's had no luck in any race he's gone into. Qualifies well and then falls behind. We start lap 8, we can see how Plux's 1 lap fresher tyres have given him that extra grip. He's closed it in. And now as we head into the Porsche's best part of the track, will he go for a dive into this? He looks at it and thinks better of it. He's just going to use his car to harass and harry. Try and rush the Mac into a mistake. I can also tell you that F1 did have a small error with the barriers down at the chicane after the bridge. There's an issue with clipping one of the arm curve barriers. With these high wings, they can get caught on them. You can see just he sticks to the back of him like glue. He's got a good run this time. Can he make up for the lack of pace? He's going for the outside line. Matt covers the inside. He's going to have to go the long way round. It's an off-camber corner as well. We've seen cars run wide, but he's got it all the way around the outside. He's now got the inside line. Plux has managed to pull that one off. Can he manage to keep away from that viciously fast Mustang? There's F1. And Muller and RS3, who just set the fastest lap of the race I just saw. The 3:03.0. There's Gadget. And Fours. Still setting consistent lap times, that's the big thing. Caddy's pitted the last time by. That's released knee up into 8th position. Oh, going a little bit wide there, Mungino. Gets away with it. There's Jules. In the Securitech Omega livery. There's the Mistral, or let's call it the Flymo. There's Canny on fresh tyres. He's gone for softs on the front this time. There's Jammy. Haven't really seen any of Jammy this race. There's Leo, same for him. Ever since that first lap incident. Oh, V8 came out the pits on supers, throwing it at the grass. And there's Grim, bringing up the rear, and doing a sterling job of it. Just showing you, you know, the class of this field. Oh. Looks like F1 clouted the wall there, so run wide through here. Oh, touches the grass as well. This could be Miller's opportunity to sneak himself back onto the podium. You see that GTR's got so much straight line speed, it can recover from issues like that really well. If we'd seen an issue like that for Muller or Plux, then we would have had some, F1 would have gone steaming by, but because that car's got so much pace in a straight line, everyone's finding it very difficult to get past. Of course, the downside to that is it doesn't turn as well and it does burn through its tyres. Miller's pretty much known as the best on his tyres in the field. The title he probably shares with Gadget actually, because Gadget's making the super softs last 6 laps without even breaking a sweat. Talking of Gadget, he's just set a new personal best lap time of 3:05. And there's Force doing a good job in the Petronas car. And there's Nijogger there. Haven't really seen the best out of Nijogger yet this season. He was a perennial championship contender last time, setting lots of pole positions, just having a bit of bad luck in some of the races. Definitely up there. That was Mangino and Jules. Jules is finally being able to take part in all the races this season. And there's Daz. And Canny. Canny is one of those drivers who's been really improving over the course of the first season and this season. And there's Jammy. One of the drivers I had tipped for a top 5, but that issue at the start, he hasn't really gelled with this track. Actually, to be fair, neither has that SLS if you look at Leo as well. Both drivers kind of further down the back. There's the GTR. Oh, hard on the brakes there. Aston just can't quite close it in, or a little bit wide there, kicks up the grass. There's RS3, looking at his fuel level and his tyres. He might pit this lap, but he has put in some searing lap times over the last couple of laps. This is looking closer to what would be a 3:06, I think, looking at where he is now in his lap time. So down the field a little bit now, looking at Gino. Oh, and Leo there has had an incident that compounds his miserable afternoon he's having. So as we look now at lap 10, these are the standings as they are right now. It's quite close at the front still. As we are halfway through lap 10 now. I can tell you that RS3 did pit at the end of lap 9. And now we've got F1 all over the back of Mac. Going off the stints, you'd expect Mac to be pitting at the end of this lap. So his tyres are all used up. F1 pitted a lap later. Gets it down the inside. Nice move. Clean, strong move there. Better job than Plux did on the first lap. There's Mac. Having a good race so far though, holding onto that podium position. Was Muller we just saw, and Gadget making those super softs last years, it seems. It's very impressive. There's Fours, being chased down by the freshly booted Audi of RS3. I believe he's driving under the Raven West moniker. Oh, I might be incorrect on that, I'd have to check. There's Nijogger in the Redmond racing car. Jump up towards the front. There's Plux. The angry sounding Porsche. F1, a strong second position. He knows what he's got to do. He's got to get his head down, chase down that little squashed beetle. And there's Miller. He's not going to quite get past Mac before what we expect to be Mac's first pit stop. At the end of lap 10. Just past half an hour into the race, so we'll probably get to around lap 19:20. So Mac's going for 3 stints of 5 laps, I'd assume. see how much more fuel F1's got than Plux. Plux is going to have to work really hard on fuel saving. And Miller too, both these guys in much better position fuel-wise than Plux. And there's Gadget. He's comfortable in fuel as well. Winner last time we were in the Group 3 cars at Brands Hatch in Season 1. Oh, we've cut back to Daz. I don't know if he's had an issue or something. Pauses in the pits. Whoa. Kicked up a little bit of dust there. The cars do look fantastic coming through that final corner. They're really on the limit. Adhesion through there. You can see the downforce working. Oh! What have we got here? We've got Matt coming out of the pits on the fresh tyres, chasing after RS3, who's on slightly old supers. But there you go, there's a perfect example of how, even on better life tyres, that Audi is so much better into a corner, but because of the mid-engine and the fact the tyres are a little bit worn, RS3's given all that time back up by getting on the power a bit early. Matt going for a carbon copy of the move that Plux did to him, looping it all the way around the outside when I have the inside for the next right-hander. He's going to have to concede the position, RS3. I don't think he's going to have quite enough pace in a straight line to catch him. It will be tight down the back straight, but I think that's probably a clean move. And RS3 would be better suited to not worrying about it, but he is having a little look. Matt going to break the slipstream again. I don't think RS3 is going to be quite close enough. He'll have a look. Is he going to go for a dive? No. Wisely backs out of it. Little puff of smoke there. So we're on board now. Jumped ahead a little bit onto lap 12. There's Jules. And Canny. It's going to be probably a race-long fight. These two seem to have very similar pace, similar strategies, similar levels of luck. What did I just say? Jules runs it off. That's a great sounding car, that SLS. Sounds like a snarling animal. And there's V8 Vendetta. The man who started third is languishing out the points at the moment. He needs to get himself up the field a little bit more. There's Daz. He's just pitted. He's now got medium tyres on. I believe. And there's Jammy and Leo, both in the Mercedes AMG cars. Oh, a big ball contact there for Grim. He's going to be letting some of the cars back, the leaders through there. And now Plux does pit. He just about made it on the fuel. F1 going around again. Looks like Muller's going around again. So let's see where Plux comes back out. He's got to stay ahead of Mac. That's the big one to note here. Where is Mac going to come out? We're on board here with Gadget. To go on board with Mac. We can just see, yes, coming out the pit lane just ahead. That is Plux, but crucially Plux has come out behind Gadget. This will give Mac some chance to catch up. Gadget's on the older tyres. They're not really in a battle together. Gadget has two choices here. You can either go for the battle or go for letting him through, because he knows he's not really in the same race at this point. This is effectively a pit stop ahead. And you can see those old supers just do not have anything compared to the fresh softs. Just ran it a little bit wide, and again Fox can just put his car wherever he likes, and again look, he put it on that apex, get on the power a little bit better. He's flashing the lights. Fox is saying, come on, let me through, man, I've got an angry Mustang behind me. It's like, yeah, he's just let it out the throttle there a little bit. That's going to be Plux through, nice and safely. But Mac did close up a little bit through that sector, you can see right there. I think Mac's going to have Gadget down the back straight. But Mac will be pitting in a couple of laps time as we're back on board with RS3. And the gap between Gadget and RS3 is not very large at all, but we expect both of them to pit soon. comes with the close of lap 13. F1's going to have the lead. Muller's going to be in second. And that gap's really opened up between the two of them at the end of this stint. Like I say, all the pre-race testing looked like Muller would have the pace. When it comes to race time, it looks like something's off with Muller's car. I have heard reports that maybe Muller was running slightly different gear ratios and it gave him more pace. When it came to race time and the game threw the book at him and went no. So now all the Aston guys have got is a set of, novelty coasters for all their mugs. There's F1 into the pits now, there's Muller as well. They've both basically drained their cars of fuel. There's Plux coming back through. This will be the final pit stops for all the top runners outside of Mac. And I think Mac's made a small error here in his pit strategy. He hasn't been able to turn on the pace to get ahead. And he's still got another whole pit stop to do. There's F1, he's out now in third, but he'll be able to chase down Mac. He can see him already, and Mac hasn't even pitted for his final stop. Meanwhile, Gadget and RS3 and 4s are all in the pits. They're all going to be fueling up for some while though. RS3 is now out the pits. He's now on soft tyres, so he's abandoned the super soft strategy. There's Gadget not far behind. I'd assume he's probably going to stay on the supers. Nijogger's managed to jump 4s, but we'll have to check if Nijogger's pitted. I'm right, Gadget is still on the super soft tyres. There's Nijogger. He has pitted, so he is ahead of 4s on merit. It's a great drive so far by great recovery by Nijogger. He can just close in on Gadget or RS3, then he might get himself into the top 6, which would be a great finish. There's F1 on his fresh tyres. Mac using every inch of the track there on the exit. They currently run in the same order that they are in the standings. What's leading? Mac in second and F1 in third. The gap will open slightly between the two championship rivals. And F1, we don't know if he's running enough of the races to really make himself a championship contender. I don't know if he's doing 6 or if he's just doing 4. But he's definitely got the pace to be a championship contender. There's no doubt about that. And RS3's put on a good showing outside of his jump start at the beginning. He's really shown a great drive. There's Nijogger. Terrible luck at the start. Not a great qualifying position. It's put him further down the field. And Ford's having a good showing in the new colours. He's hoping that will help vault him up the field. And there's Daz also in the Atenza. Or as we shall now call it, the Daz Flymo Atenza. No, that doesn't work. Someone can comment a better joke about, Daz and his ability to lawnmower everything around this track, then please comment it below, because I just cannot think of it. Meanwhile, there's a good battle here happening between Jules and Canny. I said this would be happening all race. Jules makes that move stick. Nice run out of the line, just using all the track he can get away with without getting a penalty. There's Jammy doing the same, all on his own, in the Jammy Dodger racing car. And there's Leo, he's a long way behind now. I heard Leo didn't have really any time to practice. Unfortunately, this is what happens when you don't have time to practice. You're just a little bit off the pace. So we're now on lap 15, on board with F1. Trying to close down Mac. Mac, of course, is on the last lap of his his penultimate stint. The rest of these guys in the top 4 have finished with stops. Well, scheduled stops. I doubt they're going to pit again unless someone's slightly underfueled their car. Oh, RS3! They run wide. Those tyres still look fairly fresh as well. Oh, and again, big sideways slide at That's gonna help Gadget close you in. Just rein it in a little bit. You've got the gap. You just need to, be controlled and manage it. You don't need to try and set fastest laps every single lap, RS3. Otherwise, the wily Gadget, he'll close you in. And that's Toyota Supra. There's Knee. Not far behind. If you want to join in with the driver's room, you're interested in the 1 hour endurance series, you should give Gadget334 a message on PlayStation Network and get yourself involved, ready for Season 3. And if you want to join our Sunday League series, you need to contact MJR Mercer, or just comment on this video and I'll tell you how to get involved. Point you in the right direction, I think the saying is. There's Daz in the Mistral car. It's a fair way ahead of Canny now. Canny, who's got back past Jules, it looks like, so Jules has made a mistake further around the lap after making a great overtake. Which is it's got to be a bit gutting in a way when that happens. You do all that hard work and you fall off and they have to do it all again. There's F1, he's trying to get around the outside of Mac. Doesn't really matter in the end, as Mac has got the position. As we look at the end of lap 15, here's the gaps. Bucks out front. F1's behind by about 7 seconds. As we continue on lap 15 now. End of lap 15, I should say. Gadget's just set a new best lap time. Personal best, that is. It was about 1.2 seconds faster than RS3's. If he can keep that pace up, he will have him by the end of the race. As we look at Mac, he's out on his fresh tyres. He's going to try and chase down Muller, but it's a big gap. And I think he's unfortunately, his strategy has kind of boxed him into 4th place. So Jamie's had to pit on lap 16, which is very late. There's Canny. Like I was saying, his driver really has improved. I think his best race was last season in the Group 1 cars, but race on race, he's getting a bit quicker. That's what we like to see here in the driver's room. There's V8 back up into the points. Going to get that singular point. He's a very unfortunate driver, if I'm honest, V8. He had a great opening pace, he just hasn't been able to keep it on the track long enough to show that today, which is a real shame, because he deserved to be higher up this field. He just got a little bit pinballed around at the start and never really recovered. There's Jules. It's mostly been outside factors that have slowed him down. Not being able to, do many races, it's kind of kept him behind the 8 ball a little bit. Oh, Vendetta really pushing there. There's Daz. In the Mistral car. Daz does all the decals for the driver's room. He's very open to making all sorts of personalised ones. Some of the drivers have got, number plates that have their name and team names on their car that have all been designed by Daz. He's on board with Knee. Oh, following Knee. And there's Gadget again, a little bit slower this time by. That gap looks to have stabilised. Yep, RS was a little bit quicker. He's just got to manage those front tyres. Oh, he's kicking that tail out again. But like I say, it is his first race. And Gadget is a wily veteran of many years of long endurance races. see, just hitting those marks, not trying to overwork the car. Just clips that apex nicely. Doesn't let the car oversteer too much or understeer too much. When he comes down to this corner, he's going to be braking just after the 100 meter board, down into second gear. Where he holds it in third, wanting to not over-rotate the car. It's up into fourth, which is coming to the right-hand here, braking just after the red mark. Then through. Gets that apex nicely. And down into the final corner before the back straight. Doing around 112 to 115 miles an hour through the apex there. We want to be doing 120 miles an hour plus on exit. RS going a very long way around the track there, but I'm sure there's a reason for it. There's Mac, comfortably in fourth position. Like I say, I think his strategy boxed him into that fourth place. There's Muller. Hasn't quite had that pace we all expected. Still has been excellent on tyres and pretty good on fuel. I think possibly that gear ratio infraction has cost him more than he thought. He'll still get a nice healthy bag of points. And a clean race from him. F1 hasn't really made any impact on Plux's gap. See Plux going through the final corner now. I mean, he's been in the 303s and the 4s. The Pluxes just seem to have had pretty bullet-like consistency looking at those lap times. Everything in the 303s. And has had to do it with less fuel in the car, which means he's definitely been having to use some of the leaner mixes. Board with Gadget now. Oh, and RS has gone wide through that tight infield section. It's where you'd expect the Audi to be at its best, but RS has just been throwing it at the track. Let's see what happens here. Oh, and he's run wide again. That's going to cost him bags of time. Look at the rate at which Gadget is catching him. Oh, and he's gone wide again. Look at him, he's right on his back bumper now. This has all gone very wrong for RS. You see the frustration in his steering angle there. He kind of chops him off a little bit. Sliding the tail out. This is really close, hard racing between these two guys. The guy in his first race and the guy who's a veteran of many. You expect Gadget to hold off and go for it on the back straight. Oh no, he's gone for it down the inside. That's a very aggressive move for Gadget. Have to see who's got the better straight line performance. It looks to me like actually the Audi was a little bit quicker through there. And the advantage of being on the outside is that you do get the higher momentum on the exit. Oh, RS I think ruined it there, kicked the tail out, that's going to lost him all of that momentum. And now Gadget is free to kind of send one up the inside. RS very wisely doesn't try and cut across him, that would have been a disaster for him. And you can see Nijogger there in the background, just lurking, waiting. And RS is going to have to worry about his fuel a little bit, he's under a quarter of a tank. Fuel does go quickly here. There's Gadget up to 5th position. Remember, he started in 9th. And he had a full start, so he was basically at the back and he's just kept himself out of trouble. Hasn't really had the leader's pace, but he's been consistent. There's Knee. There's RS3. He's had, like I say, a really good, promising first race. Got down on the power there. There was a lovely exit through there. Is he trying? I think he'll probably try and have him into the final corner if he can possibly get past. He's having a look. Gadget will have to respect that. Just goes on the brakes a little bit later. Cuts across his bow, try and take some of that downforce away. Manages to hold on. We have Flux just going through the field here. Oh, he's got a back marker of Leo. Oh, what happened there? Looked like Leo just didn't ever get on the power. And Plux had nowhere to go and just torpedoed off the track. Everyone's going to see this and go, come on, come on, come on, come on! There's only just under 3 minutes left in the race. Let's take another look to see what happened on board with Plux. See 120 miles an hour, and just look, Leo went nowhere, and you'll get full lock at this point. Lifted off the best he could, but Leo should have probably gotten the power a bit better there. As Leo now finally lets Plux get through. F1's halved the gap because of that. And if he's got anything left to throw the car at the track with, he will be going for that win. He wants to have another win over Plux. He got that great launch. Him and Plux came together early on the race. He's recovered it really well. You can see the big dent in the front bumper of the M4R Porsche. That's going to require a replacement. There's Gadget. The RS is very low on fuel, even lower on fuel though as Knee Jogger. He's closed the gap in on RS, and if RS isn't careful, he might lose 6th position here, which would be a real shame after the race he's had. He will, of course. I don't think anyone's going to beat his lap time for the fastest lap, so he'll get an extra point for that, which is really useful at the lower positions. It does, goes wide through there a little bit. Just didn't get on the power at all there. Jogger's just cruising up to the back of him. What's gone on here for RS3? He's just lost all forward momentum through that sector. Is he worried about fuel? Has he had to lower the mix? He's only doing 130 through that corner. Knee Jogger might have a look. No. RS is running a little bit wide. The Audi seems to really struggle with lateral movements and losing momentum because of it. And because of that, Knee Jogger I think is going to swoop around on the final lap. For these guys, that is. Because the 1 hour is up. Gadget's going to be the first to cross the line to take the 5th position. Great race from him. There's Knee getting 6th at the death. And RS3. Well, it's a good debut. Got the fastest lap. He might be kicking himself there. There's Fours. He's obviously happy. He sees flashing his lights. It's a good race from him. In the new colours. New sponsors, new car. Some solid points to replace the ones he had to give up to have this refresh. A good run from him. Good strong 8th place. V8 is going to hold on. He's actually going to get an extra position up to 9th. Daz isn't far behind, but I think V8's going to hang on. Started 3rd, dropped to 8th, but he did have lots of issues. He kind of got battered around. You can see from the scuff marks on the front of that Porsche. God, eBay's going to be a hive of activity for new Porsche bumpers between him and Plux. And there's Daz. Final points paying position for him. Jules comes home in 11th. And does a celebratory handbrake turn for 0 points. Not style points, real points. Many points for style. Canny, home in 12th. And Jamie, I think, will take 13th. Leo will be at the back. We'll cut forward now. Final lap, 20 laps. Is up for Plux. He was a winner last time out in the Group 2s for the first time, and now he's a winner again, I think. It's going to be. He's taking it right down on the fuel. It's not the cleanest of races. He got the pole, yes, but he had that incident with F1. Plux will win, lights ablaze as he comes across the line. F1, a strong race. Didn't deserve the contact he got with Plux, but made a few errors of his own. Muller in 3rd just never really showed that pace that he'd shown in practice. Real shame for him. And Mac, well, his strategy was no better than 4th place. He drove well, but his strategy let him down there. So as we take a look at the points after that thrilling race, Plux has extended his lead to 10 points ahead of Mac. F1 keeps 3rd, Muller stays in 4th and Knee's up to 5th. Catch us next time at Brands Hatch Indy.